We're going to read our guided reading book together today. So if you have your story, Paco's Snowman, go ahead and get it out so you can read along with me. When we look at the title, Paco is a name, so it's going to have a capital letter, whether it's in the title or not. We have an apostrophe S. That means the snowman belongs to Paco. It's his snowman. If I had to take a guess, I might say that this is Paco. I'm not sure, but he's on the front cover, so it gives me a little clue. And there I see a picture of a snowman. I don't know if he made a real snowman or this story is going to be about the picture of his snowman. We'll have to do a little more reading to figure it out. We also see the author, Lisa Torres, and the illustrator, Diane Patterson, on the front of our story. So Paco's Snowman. Class, we're making snowmen, said Paco's teacher, Miss Perez. With snow? Asked Paco. With scissors and paper, she said. Miss Perez passed out the scissors. Paco studied his scissors and frowned. All right, so now we have a better idea of what's happening here. Paco is a student in the class. There's other students there, and there's the teacher, Miss Perez. And we know they're not going outside in the snow. They are using scissors and paper to make pictures of a snowman. Now, the last word there is frowned. When we look at Paco's face, we can get a clue of what a frown is. It's not a smile. A frown might be a face you make if you're sad or upset about something. So when we think about what's happening here, when Paco looks at his scissors, he frowns. Think for a moment, what could be wrong? Maybe his scissors are broken. Maybe he didn't get the color scissors he wanted. Maybe he's not very good at using scissors. Or maybe he doesn't even know how to use scissors. Paco did not like to use scissors. They just felt strange in his hand. Paco tried to open and close the scissors to cut his paper, but the scissors slipped and slid. Sometimes they even got stuck. Paco sighed. So we know now why he does not like to use scissors, because he's not very good at cutting. Paco looked at Marisol. Snip, snip, snip. Marisol cut a perfect circle from her white paper. She used it to make a snowman's head. So I bet he's feeling a little bit jealous that she can do very nice cutting and he's having trouble. Paco looked at Joshua. Snip, snip, snip. Joshua cut a perfect square from his black paper. He used it to make a snowman's hat. Paco looked at his own paper. His scissors did not snip, snip, snip. His scissors rip, rip, ripped. Paco's straight lines were not straight. Paco's curves were not curved. He sighed again. Miss Perez walked by Paco's desk. "What's wrong, Paco?" she asked. Paco pushed his paper toward her, then folded his arms. "It looks like my snowman took a bite out of his hat," Paco moaned. But Miss Perez just smiled. "I like that idea," Miss Perez said. Paco was surprised. Slowly, he cut another shape. Its straight lines were not straight. Its curves were not curved. He glued it to the snowman's belly. Miss Perez laughed. So your snowman did eat his hat, she said. Paco laughed too. Maybe he ate his carrot nose and buttons too. Paco cut and glued more shapes. The next day, Miss Perez hung the snowmen above the fish tank. They were all round and white like polar bears, except for one. It had a funny hat and a belly full of strange shapes. Paco smiled and began planning his next art project. So we are going to think about this story, and we're going to make a chart on the board here about Paco. But before we do that, I want to look back at some of our words that have ed and ing endings. We are learning about those endings in our spelling list this week, and there's some good words in our story that have it. So we have studied. That's also a vocabulary word. If we do study and then we add an ed ending, it becomes studied. Another one on this page is frowned. We can have the word frown by itself, or we can add the ed ending. Ed means it happened in the past, so we would say frowned. On this page, let's see here, we have, slipped. So slip is when maybe you fall or your feet kind of slide. When we add the ed ending, we have to put another P there to make it have the short vowel sound, slipped. Then we can add ed, slipped. And sighed. We have long vowel for I, so we don't need an extra consonant at the end. We can just add our ed sound, sighed. On this page, we have looked. Ed on the end of look makes it become looked. Used, that's one of our spelling words this week. Use is our base word, and then we drop the magic E, but we add ed back to the end, so it becomes used. On this page, let's see. Oh, here's looked again. We put ed on the end of look. And used, we talked about that one already. Here's looked on this page. And ripped, we have a short vowel sound. Short I says I, so we add the other P and the ed at the end, ripped. Curved, curve is our base word. We drop the magic E and we put ed on the end, so it becomes curved, and we already talked about side. Here we go. This one is walked. The word walk is a base word all by itself. We put ed on the end to show that it happened in the past, walked. Asked. Ask is a word by itself. We added the ed ending, asked. Pushed. If we take away the ed, we can see push, and then we add it on to have it become pushed. Folded. There's the word fold, and the ed makes it say folded. Moaned. Here's moan, and we put the ed ending, moaned. And smiled. There's smile. We drop the magic E and then add ed to make it say smiled. All right, on this side, let's see, surprised. Here's surprise. We drop the magic E and then we add ed at the end to make it say surprised. Here's curved with the ed on the end. We talked about that one already. And glued. Our base word is glue. We would drop that E and then add ed to make it say glued. Lots of ed endings in this story. Here's laughed. The word laugh is the base word, and then we add the ed ending. Laughed again. Glued again. We talked about that one. Let's see. Here's smiled. Smile with the ed on the end becomes smiled. All right, so we can add endings to our words to make them mean past tense, especially if we're thinking about the ed endings. We're going to fill in our chart. Paco's snowman on this side. What are some things that tell us about his snowman? The other snowmen on this side. What are some things that tell us about the other kids' snowmen? And in the middle is things that are the same about both of them. So let's start off with some ideas about Paco's snowman. What were some things that we saw on Paco's snowman? Let's see here. Paco's snowman was not straight. Let's see if you can see that. So his lines that he was cutting were not straight. Some of his paper was ripped when he was trying to cut it. He was having trouble with his scissors. He wasn't very good at that, and his scissors were ripping the paper. And he had shapes in its belly. Once Paco realized that his snowman could be a funny snowman, he added some more shapes to make it look like his snowman ate lots of different things. On this side, we've got the other snowmen in our story. So the snowmen that the other kids made. And they did have straight lines. So when they were making the snowman's hat, all the lines were straight. When they were cutting out the head and the body for the snowman, they were nice curved circles, we call that. It's a good thing we're learning about shapes in math. We know what a circle looks like. Okay. So their snowmen had nice straight lines and good circles. What were some things that were the same about Paco's snowman and the other kids' snowmen? Well, they were both made out of paper. So they were both, done with cutting and gluing. And the teacher hung all of them up. Hung up all of them. So the teacher didn't say, oh, only the perfect snowmen get to be hung up. She hung up all of them. All right. So our Venn diagram here shows us some things that are different about Paco's snowman and the other snowmen, and some things that are the same about them. If you want to practice reading this story on your own, that would be a great idea. Or you can play the first part of the video again and read along with me. You also have another book this week. Some people have Our School. This is a good book for you to practice reading to somebody at your house. And some people have A Surprise for Mrs. Green. Same thing, please practice reading that story on your own. In the back of each of these books are things for you to talk about and do at your house, some words for you to find. So all of our stories have this in the back. And after you practice reading your story, you should talk about some of those things. You can read these stories over and over again. The way we get to be good readers is to keep on reading. So you have 2 stories to read this week. Paco's Snowman is one of them. Practice reading it again and again, or have somebody at your house read with you.